So I'm Sue Middleton and I'm the chair of the Country Arts Board, but my role at the summit was to be the conference synthesizer. So I had the absolute privilege to go and listen to all of the different things that were bubbling up in the conference and then try and pull that together and to make some meaning. I'm a person who's from outside the network, so my background's really in regional development and community development. And I'm not a practicing artist, so I got to come and be part of the summit, but be from another space, and then look at this incredible sector and reflect on what that sector's doing and where that sector's going, and then look at, well, what are the needs of that sector? So it was an extraordinary opportunity for me to come and, I guess, be the other in the room. And one of the things I think that really struck me was the extraordinary contribution that this sector makes, but they're really humble about it, and they do a whole range of things in their communities and across communities. And it's not just about people's arts practice, it's about changing the way communities fundamentally are. And that was just for me a real kind of takeaway about the extraordinary contribution, but not necessarily a really good expression of what that value is worth. There was a whole range of different presenters that talked about real depth processes in their community. So processes where artists had worked to help heal after extraordinary trauma had occurred in community. So an example would be the story of the North Cliff fires and the trail that they developed as an example. And then, we heard a lot about using arts as a way of helping communities to deal with other forms of trauma. And I thought that was just a really great example of how arts and culture as a process used in communities can really help communities to explain who they are and who they want to be, and then what they're dealing with. So what we're doing is laying the foundation work to be able to achieve that, and talking about what we need to do in the advocacy space. Our strategy work that we're about to start is really about thinking through the connections to other sectors and being able to think through how we measure and monitor the impact that the resources and the investment that we're putting into arts, how we actually can do that better. This is about working at the grassroots, where people are at, listening deeply to what people need to do, and then helping figure out what the role is for country arts, and then we work with people at the grassroots level to drive that change. It's profoundly important that we're able to explain not just the history of a community, but where that community is heading as well. Because that's the point at which people engage with communities. That's the point at which people choose whether they're going to live there or not. It's the thing that helps people to decide whether they want to stay in a community, is when they really identify with the values.